Ladies and gents, how are we all doing? Sam here, United People's TV. It's Wednesday, the 19th of July. Manchester United about to play. I feel like I sound like a horse commentator. No, sound like a cattle market. Anyway, that was an interesting start to the show. Good morning. Man United are playing Lyon in T-minus 4 hours in Edinburgh. Manchester United should be hopefully announcing the signing of Onana tomorrow. We're waiting for it. The medical is going to be happening today. Alex Telles is going to Al Nassr for €4 million. Did any of you, and I know the answer to this, but did any of you have Johnny Evans in your starting 11 for Lyon? Because I know I didn't. Yeah, we'll speak about that. We'll speak about the game. We'll speak about Rashford's new contract, Hojlund personal terms being agreed, Onana, and the announcement that is impending, although he's already given an interview to the, I think Gazzetta dello Sport out in Italy. It's a busy show. It's always a busy show. Look, I'm wearing this, right? I've never released this. So this was a piece of Rashford merch that I made last year. I'm currently redesigning the whole shop, so it's not available. But I thought I'd pop this bad boy on after the news yesterday. But who's down here in the comments from the community? Let's have a look. All the members. We've got Vicky. Good morning to you. We've got Ned, Kinley, Alex, Mo, Carl. You're there as well. Locker room chatter. Corey. Can I say thank you very much? Teresa gifted 10 memberships in the build up to the stream. Imagine that. Amazing. I think Teresa's going to the game today, so enjoy yourself in Edinburgh. Matt Bird, you're there. Juan, Derek, Chris. We've got Kieran. Who's on Facebook? We've got Abdi. We've got Mihar. We've got Dan McGann. We've got Matt Frost. How you doing, buddy? I know I've just got the long and boring intro out of the way. It's disgusting. Which one are you? No, I'm not going to do it. I'm looking forward to seeing the game today. How about you? It's preseason. I didn't think I would be this sort of interested and excited by it. But I want to start with some absolutely fantastic news. And that's this. Edwin van der Sar saying yesterday he's no longer in the intensive care unit. Still in hospital. Still not out of hospital just yet. But given that he was rushed in an emergency state, I think it was a brain hemorrhage. Everybody feared the worst. And here we are, a week, 10 days, I can't remember, roughly a week or so later, and he's there, all smiles with his wife. And it's pretty awesome to see. So keep on the road to recovery, Edwin, but that's a fantastic piece of news that he's capable and well enough to share that photo of him and his wife in hospital. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Let's move on and let's get this show started. Right. It's yesterday, there was a lot of people talking about, takeover imminent. Glazer's sale is imminent. So I read where this story was coming from, and we'd already discussed it yesterday morning. It's all come from this. This is an article from Bloomberg. It's not a fluff piece, okay? It's just Bloomberg sort of explaining everything that we already knew and everything that we already know. And everything yesterday around the idea that a sale is imminent is just come from one line that's halfway down the article. You scroll down here. There. The Glazer family, which has owned Manchester United since 2005, is expected to decide on a sale imminently or opt to hang on to the club. Robert, you're asking, what's the UK definition of imminent? Well, it's not what the Glazers have been doing, that's for sure. Obviously, the fear has always existed that the Glazers might just hold on to it. I've always reiterated it every single time those fears have been relayed to me. From a business perspective, they cannot continue without major capital investment. They need to find a serious minority investor who's willing to give them billions without taking ownership. And it just doesn't make any sense. What kind of idiot billionaire would give the Glazers billions of cash and say, well, we don't want any control over it. Just let us know if we've made a profit in a couple of years' time. That's why, for me, it's always felt like a sale or a relinquishment, that word, or them relinquishing ownership, control, full control is going to happen. I've always stood by that. I've always felt that. And maybe I'm going to be proven completely wrong and the Glazers will hold on to it. But I personally wouldn't worry too much. Famous last words here, of course. But that's where the sort of the conversations around it being imminent is happening right now. Imminent? No, it's not. It's just a little It's a word in the middle of an article that the Bloomberg has done. If it really was imminent, it would be their headline. They would run with that if it was going to be imminent. That's what we have. That's what I'm trying to relay here. Trying to again control, not control hysteria, but try and dampen it, because it's the takeover has just reached. I don't know how to describe how I feel about takeover anymore, because a lot of the excitement's been sort of drawn out of it. My guy Spence 92. Where's it gone? There it is. Gifted 5 memberships for Marcus Rashford. I tell you what, if you're here a little bit later in the show, you might be getting a little cheeky membership from me. Little update on that. I'm working on the new membership perks and levels. They're going to be coming out in the next couple of weeks. It's very, very cool. I think you'll enjoy those. But yeah, you're all a little bit, you're all apprehensive. I know you're apprehensive over the takeovers. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how else to describe it. I really, really don't. Lewis, you'll call them media fence sitters. It's not really much. I think that's what I did yesterday. I don't know what to say on the takeover anymore. There's nothing new that I've got to speak to you about. Nothing that we haven't already had a whole discussion about. General, you're saying what you're saying about minority investment makes a lot of sense. The numbers don't match. Like, for the Glazers to retain control of our football club and be able to do what it's not a case of maybe you'll do it now. They need it. They need capital investment. Manchester United needs billions. Unless they find someone who's willing to give them billions without any control, then what they want is just not possible. Hence why we're in this loggerhead situation. But let's move on to better and nicer things, right? Let's move on to talking about this bad boy. This is Onana leaving Milan yesterday, popping through the airport, a couple of cameras in his face. I'm just trying to walk through the airport, lads. What are you doing? But Onana flew to Manchester. Well, actually not Manchester. He flew to Birmingham, I believe. Flew last night about 10:30. And he fully expected to undergo his medical today. Now, does that mean that we could get an announcement of Onana tomorrow? Yeah, absolutely. And I hope that is the case. It's been an exciting couple of weeks as far as transfers go, as far as I don't know. Yeah, as far as the summer transfer window goes, of course, when it comes to the state of the club, it's not as good. But this is what Fabrizio Romano is saying on the Onana situation. Said this: after some changes to the plan due to flight issues, no problems with the deal. Onana will travel to the UK in 40 minutes, and that was last night at what, 9:50? I think he said that 8:50. Oh yeah, it's 9:50 Italian time. Onana's private flight is scheduled at 10:30 from Turin, landing in Birmingham later. Medical tomorrow. So he is. He is joining, and he's already given interviews about how he wants to win the Champions League at Manchester United. That's pretty funny. What I will put here, actually, I found this. I haven't read it yet, but I think this would be pretty cool if anybody wants to read it. If you haven't read the Players Tribune, what happens is you get professionals, managers, athletes, and they kind of write their own stories. It's a mini autobiography, if you want to call it that. And this is Onana's one from December 2021. So I'm going to give that a read later on. I'm presuming that's to do with the sort of the drug situation. You know, he got banned. He took his wife's prescription or something like that, and got like a 6-8 month ban from football. If you like to read that, you might find a little bit more about Onana's personality. I think you'd enjoy that. I'm going to read that later on. I didn't have time to read it this morning. But yeah, Onana, he's landed in Birmingham today. And he's already given interviews. This, of course, was an interview he must have had before he went. And he was speaking to, I think it was Gazzetta dello Sport. He's saying, look, I want and I hope to win the Champions League at Manchester United. I really want to start this new exciting experience with a coach who is a master for me. A master. High praise indeed. But Onana here is speaking about how he wants to win the Champions League with Manchester United before he plays for Manchester United. That's funny, man. That's really, really funny. Of course he wants to. I'd love nothing more than to see Manchester United win the Champions League with Onana in goal and with Erik ten Hag as our manager. It's been a long time. What is it now? 15 years? 15 years since we won the Champions League. That's a long ass time. That really is. I think I'd rather win the Premier League. We've had that debate and discussion before. I thought it would be like a clean sweep. Everybody wants to win the Premier League first and foremost, but quite a few people actually do want to win the Champions League first. But this is it's just funny. It is a strong ambition, 1 ton. That's the mentality, says Steve. And Matt says, don't make me cry. Positive vibes only here this morning. I can see a few of you, by the way, down there are having some sort of issues with this. My connection is totally fine. It's not on my end. So if there's any sort of issues, it's to do with YouTube or to do with your own internet, because it's certainly not coming from my end, because I can see my own stream. So I know when it's on my end or not. Big up to the fiber optic I got. Made a massive difference. But yeah, I just thought that was funny to see Onana giving interviews like that, saying he wants to win the Champions League before he's even a Manchester United player. But what we should get, I'm hoping tomorrow. Why not? If the medical goes completely fine, Manchester United, as far as I know, Manchester United are flying directly from Edinburgh to, I'm guessing, New York. I mean, that's where our game against Arsenal is. They're flying there tonight. So Onana, in an ideal world, like I've spoken about it, right? Let's go back to this, right? This is Fabrizio Romano saying, look, the medical's all happening today. I hope that the visa's not an issue, but I kind of wouldn't be surprised if it was. I don't know. Let's find out. But hopefully he'll have his medical done. He can jump straight on a plane to America and join up with the lads before the Arsenal game. I don't think he'll be there playing in the Arsenal game. Let's find out. Alex is saying, so Onana's medical today in Carrington. I don't know. I mean, the medical doesn't have to. I don't know what. I've seen it before. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's happened in transfers, isn't it? That you get sometimes a player will do a medical at the behest of both clubs, but it doesn't have to be at that club's training ground. It doesn't have to be at either club's training ground. Yeah, there you go. Bryce, that's cool. That's a cool little message. I'm going to read this one out. Bryce, you're saying, yo, Sam, how about this? Finally caught you live. I'm on my lunch break. I see you, nurse, here at Seattle. Man, that is a late night lunch. But big up to you from watching for Seattle. And that is there's about a million other ways you can enjoy your break better than listening to me waffle about Man United. But big up to you, my friend. So many people in the comments are talking about Johnny Evans. And I'll be honest, I don't think anybody could have predicted that one. That was not one I saw coming at all. What I want to quickly say here before we move on is, if you can, ladies and gents, drop a like on the video. Look, I've updated the board here completely, right? I've cleaned it up a bit. So I've got sales and exits here now, and I've got signings in 2 separate categories. I used to have done out and in, but there's too much going on with sales and exits, so I needed to switch it all up. So we've got obviously Alex Telles down there, 4 million euros, 4 million pounds. That's the most Man United have made £5 million from selling 3 players so far. That's Telles, Laird, and Iqbal. And then the rest have been like loans expiring or free transfers. But this is the updated board. What I will say as well, if you can, ladies and gents, or if you want to, the raffle here. I'm going to keep mentioning this because I think it's kind of gone under the radar, this one. It really is the best one. It's 700 quid. If you win it, you'll only pay a quid. Somebody won it last. I forgot to get the photo up, actually. Let me try and get it here. 1 second. See if I can get this. I should have bought this. I should have downloaded this already, but I forgot. There you go. Look at this. This is cool. Well, I think so anyway. So this here was sent in by Charlie, who won the last raffle, and that's his 50-inch 4K TV there, and his Bose soundbar, listening to a certain United People's TV. Big up to you, Charlie, man, legend. But that was last month's raffle prize. Obviously, you don't have to send a selfie if you go on holiday if you win it, but if you'd like to, there you go, enjoy it. Seven Samurai, you sent in a super chat, sir. I feel the channel. What are you saying? I feel the channel needs more members, as well as those new members, to drop a like on the video. So as soon as I drop this bomb, stop spamming the button. Have you done what I think I've done? We're going to need a bigger gong. Seven Samurai, man. What? Man, what an absolute... I tell you what, when I launch these new membership levels and the new perks, the return of the arms, there's some new perks in there for podcasts, new perks in there for Q&A videos every month. It's wicked. But you're all making it happen, and that's why I'm going to start giving more and more back into the community, because it is the best, and I feel like I'm not doing enough, and I want to do more, so I'm going to. But Seven Samurai, man. I don't know how to react to anybody who drops 50 memberships, because it's so generous. What a legend. I'm trying to go down there and see how many people. There are so many green names now. It's awesome, man. What a community. What a community. I'll tell you what, I reckon, you know what I think part of it is? First of all, for some reason, some of you like listening to me waffle. Second of all, you like the gong more than me, which is, just something I've grown to accept. But third, United are actually making moves this summer. Positive moves in terms of the transfer market and how we're going. And that's why we're going to be moving on to speaking about Rasmus Hojlund next. Because it was yesterday that we got the old bomber from David Ornstein that Manchester United had agreed personal terms. Now, of course, this is not the first time that we've heard this. This was Fabrizio Romano a little bit earlier yesterday in the afternoon. Personal terms agreed. 65 to 70 million euros fee. I did a video covering all of this, the Ornstein one, yesterday afternoon. So we've spoken about this in a bit of detail, but I'll speak about it in a little bit more now. I'm going to do this as a poll for today, right? I'm going to do this as a poll. This would be a good poll. How much? So, let's say, hypothetically, Man United sign Rasmus Hojlund. What do you think the overall package is going to be worth? That includes upfront fee and add-ons. How much do you think we'll be able to sign Hojlund for? How much will United sign Hojlund for if he joins, right? I'm going to go... What would my options be? I'll go 50 to 55, 55 to 60, 60 to 70, or 70 plus. I'm going to do that in sterling. All right, that's in sterling English pounds. How much do you think we'd sign him for? Because of course Fabrizio is saying there that it's going to be, they want somewhere in between 65 to 70 million euros. What do you think overall? This is an interesting one. I think this is the hardest one to gauge. Mason Mount, we knew we were going to meet halfway in the middle. Onana, excellent price. Really, really was. I could see that, mate. Jibak as well. Mate, Jibak, hey, look, man, I've got to join this party today. You're all making me look bad. I'm definitely joining in as well. It's like constantly Christmas in this community. You know that. Jibak, you just gifted 10 memberships. And you inspired me as well. So there's 10 from me. All right. It's an absolute party up in here. But let me see what you're saying on this poll. Right. We go back to this guy. I don't know. I'm not sold on Hojlund, right? Because I know that he's a 20-year-old from Serie A and he's only got 9 goals last year. But I think I've got so much faith in Ten Hag and Benny McCarthy and Man United's coaching staff that if they really look at Hojlund and go, he's the one. Because if you think about it, right, if we're looking at all the available options and you're looking at the price there of 65, 70 million euros, it's really not far off. Probably there's a conversation to be had about Gonzalo Ramos at that price tag. And I think there's a conversation to be had about Kolo Muani. Of course, we're in parallel talks with Kolo Muani. That was confirmed yesterday by David Ornstein. But Man United must have profiled Hojlund and feel, you know what? I think there's a player there that we can develop into someone significantly better. It's like, you could call it, I mean, it is a gamble, right? Signing a 20-year-old is a gamble. Signing young players are a gamble. But I think Ten Hag is backing himself to get the absolute most out of this lad. Alex, you're saying Hojlund is very similar to Kane. No, not really. Similar in the idea that, Hojlund is someone who drops deep. I told you, played in a system at Atalanta where he played 3 at the back, played with wing backs. He wasn't really as a pure number 9. He kind of dropped deep a lot of the time, involved in the interlink play, ran the channels very well. Wasn't really your number 9 in the box. He was there on the edge of there on the end of the cross in the same way that Victor Osimhen was. But I'm going to go down here and see how much you think that if we do sign him, how much you think he's worth. Now, Seven Samurai, man, legend what you're saying. Like, honestly, I think anything over 50 million quid United would need to walk away from. It's okay. Well, I'm going to ask that as a question then, right? Say Seven Samurai's right. 50 million and United walk away. Where do United go? What do we do? If 50 million is our limit for Hojlund and Atalanta won't come below that, and we go, you know what? We're moving on. Where are we moving on to? Genuine question, because we're not going to Kolo Muani because he's worth even more. We're not going to Gonzalo Ramos because he's worth about the same. Who do we turn to? Seriously. Protosaurus Rex, I agree with that. Hojlund is a risk. You're saying you're fine for the fee to be 70 million, but half of that should be add-ons paid if he achieves his potential. I think they're going to want more up front. It's a big thing, isn't it? Everyone wants more up front. Josh, you're saying Sam, does Evans coming back to the club feel okay? I'm going to run through all of the transfer news, Josh, and then we're going to head towards talking about Evans, the travelling team for the game against Lyon in a few hours, and my predicted 11. And Evans wasn't in it. So I'm definitely not going to get 11 out of 11. Let me see what you're saying down in the comments. I think this is a really interesting conversation. Hassan, you're saying, look, spend more money on Kane. Evan Ferguson says, Keith, Evan Ferguson next summer, you're talking circa 60 mil. Would he be 19 next summer? I think he still will be. I think you're looking at circa 60 mil for Evan Ferguson next summer. Kieran, you're saying I don't think there's another option. Mehdi Taremi is Joshua, you're not the only person who's mentioned that. That's one option. And you're saying sign Dembele on a free and Ivan Toney. Man, no one's touching Toney with a barge pole until the ban. There might be more stuff that comes out. Unfortunately for him, that's just the truth. Take a chance on our academy, says Tyrone. There's look, you've got Joe Hugill, you've got Charlie McNeil. If you're looking at 2 goal scorers, yes, McNeil is out on loan. I think he's injured at the moment. Hugill scored a good goal against Leeds. Maybe starts to for what we're doing, right? Like you've just signed Mount, you just signed Onana. You can't then look at an academy prospect and go, the hardest thing in football in the hardest league in the world, and you expect a kid to come through and just take it all in his stride on his own with no support. The support is Martial. Oh, he's injured. Oh, great. We turn to Rashford, says Ibuka. I imagine that's probably what's going to happen. If it doesn't happen, I think we'll probably shift Rashford through to the middle. He would become our number 9, and then we have a Garnacho starting on the left wing most of the season. Ivan Toney is another one there. Balogun is another name. Jonathan David. Jonathan David is going to be just as much as Hojlund. Let me have a look through the poll now and see what you're saying here, right? 1 second. Poll is there. So 900 votes. How much do you, if we signed Hojlund, how much do you think we would sign him for? 31% of you are saying 50 to 55 mil. 49% of you, which is the most popular one, are saying 55 to 60 mil. 18% of you are saying 60 to 70 mil. And 2% of you are saying 70 mil plus. So if, like, we go back here, I mean, if Fabrizio Romano is indeed correct and they are wanting this, Man United, look, where is it? I've got it up here somewhere on one of my 400 tags. There you go. Tabs. So look, Chelsea wanted 80 mil for Mount. We ended up paying 60, but that was only 55 up front with 5 mil really difficult add-ons. I think overall the price there, I'm kind of fine with that. Inter wanted 60 mil. I might have been wrong there with the 60 mil. I think that might have been 60 mil euros. Either way, only paid 44 million pounds. 3.5 mil add-ons. That's a good price. Might be roughly what they wanted for Onana, but that was a good price anyway. And then Atalanta wants 60 mil for Hojlund. If we can get that with 50 mil up front and some add-ons, I think that would be I think it's overpriced. Yes. But is it relative to the market? I'd also say yes. Just everything's crazy at this moment in time, man. Speaking of crazy, I think everything's gone a bit mad. Everything's gone wild here this morning. Paul McAndrew and the man himself, Gungshi, have just gifted 5 memberships each as well. One for you. And one for you. I've got something really, really special planned when it comes to the gongs and the new software. I won't tell you what it is, but if I can pull it off, it'll be hella fun. That's what I'm going to call it. Hella fun. Jibak, you're saying, Sam, is there a way to find out why our transfer policy for homegrown kids is so weird? Still can't get up. My head scratches there. The Zidane Iqbal one, basically Man United looking at that as a glorified loan. The idea that if we sell him on, we get 40% of his sale. Okay, that's fine. But I told you that the record sale at Utrecht is like 8 million. So we get 40% of that. What is that? 3.2 mil? Huh. Look at that. Maths. Sometimes I'm good at it. Sometimes I'm good. What's going on here? Did I miss a gong? I've been told I've missed a gong. I don't know. If I have, I can't see it. Man, it must have been a while ago. Oh, I'm going to whip it out anyway. Beep, beep. Ricky is saying, Sam, you should get your YouTube Silver Award. She's up there. She's been up there for a long old time, man. Cameron is saying, give me a shout if you need help on the software. I probably do. I do need to get some help at some point in time. Who said men can't multitask? I'm proving you wrong. But Rasmus Hojlund is the one to watch now. Right, Onana, we're going to get that announcement done. The last major signing this summer should be Rasmus Hojlund. If we sign anything past him, it will be a case of sales. So we look down here. We've got Teles, 4 mil. We've got Iqbal and Led. Overall, we've made about 5 mil, which is paltry. I was hoping for a bit more for Teles, but apparently every other offer was for a free transfer anyway. So better to get 4 mil instead of nothing. And there you go. That's the story there. That's Teles gone. And there's so many more players like him who need to go. That Dean Henderson. I personally feel Donny van der Beek. If Fred is going to be sold, then Fred too. You're looking at Elanga. Elanga's a big one. If McTominay leaves too, I don't particularly think that McTominay's high on the sell list. Nor do I think that Ten Hag would be. I don't think Ten Hag will be pushing for McTominay to leave. But if a good offer comes in, I think McTominay and Sancho are in the same category. If a good offer comes in, they'll take it. Lar was a fair point there. Mentioned the Chong. We got 25% of the sell on for Chong when he joined Luton, which means I think we got $1 million for him. It's not really on our sales and exits, though. It's just an extra bit of wedge on the side. Man, Deshan, you just gifted 5 memberships as well. Man. I always remember that day. I don't know what day it was, but it was absolutely wild in here. And I think there was like 250 memberships gifted, and I was basically speechless. I had to like leave the camera. Robbie saying, is it correct that Forest only offered Henderson a loan? I don't know about that. I'm pretty sure that they're in negotiations over a permanent deal right now. The only one that we've heard about with the loan is Maguire and West Ham. And United were like, yeah, toodle pip. But going back to some good news, drop a like on the video, first of all. Going back to this deserves a like. There he is. Marcus Rashford and Erik ten Hag. We had the confirmation yesterday, the official announcement that this man here, Marcus Rashford, has signed a new 5-year contract. And I'm delighted, man. I'm really, really delighted. He could have... He had more lucrative offers from apparently other teams in England. We spoke about that. Also, PSG definitely wanted him. But Marcus Rashford is going to be staying here until 2028. He's been here since a 7-year-old. And this is what he said after the announcement was made yesterday. He said, look, I joined United as a 7-year-old boy with a dream. The same passion, pride, and determination to succeed still drives me every time I have the honor of wearing the shirt. I've already had some amazing experiences at this beautiful club, incredible club. But there is still a lot more to achieve, and I remain relentlessly determined to win more trophies. As a United fan, my whole life, I know the responsibility that comes with representing the badge and feel the highs and lows as much as anyone. I can assure you that I will give everything to help the team reach the level we are capable of And it feels like a political speech. And I can feel the same determination around the dress. I don't know why I'm doing an American accent either. Anyway, I couldn't be more excited for the future under this manager. And Rashford really showed himself as the development for Rashford last year. You know, the year before, after Rashford had that shoulder injury that he was carrying all season, and he was still one of our best players. And then he finally had some time off. He finally got the shoulder surgery done. Missed the start of the season, I think. And we were like, when he comes back, Rashford's going to be flying. And it was like, didn't really work out. And then there were loads of questions about whether Rashford could or should be sold in the summer. And Ten Hag came in. And then he banged in 30 goals last season. And let's be honest, he went off the boil for like the last 6 weeks or so. And he still banged in 30. I'm delighted he's staying. Now, some of you are asking about the wages down here. This is an important thing, right? And this is how contracts at Manchester United need to be from now on, right? He's on 325 grand a week. I've already shown you that's pretty much exactly what Bukayo Saka got at Arsenal. It's relative to young stars in the Premier League. Just as much as the money's gone up for how much you're paying for players, how much you are paying players has also gone up as well, which obviously makes sense. But Man United have made that contract heavily incentivized for success on the pitch. And that's what it needs to be. And that's where, in my opinion, the money's... I don't really mind. Do I mind if that player earns more money if we go on to win the Premier League or the Champions League? Nobody cares. Nobody cares. The only time it annoys us all is when they're playing crap. And that's what I mean. Incentivize and decentivize it. Maybe it's a little bit harsh to decentivize. I suppose just make that base salary lower and then have X amount more for if you get this, if you win the Golden Boot, if you win the Premier League, if you win the Champions League. That's what contracts should be at Manchester. Kind of at any football club, really, because it makes pure logical sense. Gio, you're saying Bruno earns less than him and he's more important. Bruno signed his contract in 2022. Rashford's done his a year and a half later and made something. It's kind of developed. It has developed. Things have got more and more expensive since then. But I'm not offended by how much Rashford is earning. As I said, I'm offended by the way that the game has gone, but this is another direct consequence. But exactly that, what Robert's put there. More success equals more money. More success equals happier fans, better club, better signings, better everything. So cool, the players can get more money at that time. I'm fine with that. And I'm more than fine with Marcus Rashford signing that contract. That's great news for us. Now, I'm just laughing. I'm just laughing at this because I didn't see this coming. Johnny Evans. Johnny Evans has rejoined Manchester United. Who had that down as predictions for 2023? No? Absolutely nobody saw that coming. But basically, I think it was released by Leicester at the end of last season. And he was training with Manchester United's under-21s. Obviously, he came back to the academy. United were just helping him regain his fitness, see what he was doing next. Joined, and as part of Man United's academy process, the under-21s train with the first team sometimes. Johnny did. Impressed Derek. And now he's on the plane to Edinburgh. Chetan saying I had to check my FOTMob notification twice and still didn't believe it. I know. It really did crack me up. You can see here, I've highlighted the different names that are going to Edinburgh that weren't in the squad for Oslo. I'm guessing Eli, is that how you pronounce that name? You'll notice that there is no Tom Heaton. I don't know whether Tom Heaton's injured or not, but that might just be a little nod to the fact that Tom Heaton might be getting that move to Luton after all. Let's find out. But Eli Harrison's coming there, and you've got Bishop, Eli Harrison, and Kovar. Johnny Evans is the defender that's added into the centre-back options. Now, you'll notice that there's no first-team players. There's going to be a lot of people that are saying, oh, I mean, it kind of is. It kind of isn't. Johnny Evans has only signed a short-term contract, all right? He's going to be in the squads to face face Lyon in Edinburgh and also in San Diego, the preseason. I think he's got a contract for like 2 games. Do you think there's any chance that Evans ends up signing a short 1-year deal? Because I'd love us to, but I'm being just totally honest here. I don't know if we're going to have the funds to sign that right-sided centre-back that we might want. I'm not even sure that Johnny Evans is that right-sided centre-back. Does he play on the left? But Johnny Evans, that news yesterday, as I said, of all the notifications and all the things you could possibly have predicted, there was not one person there who predicted Evans. Let me see what you're saying in the comments. How long is short term, says Emmy. As I said, I believe it's 2 games at the start, but maybe that could turn into something longer. Billington saying, what must Maguire be thinking? Oh, there was a good tweet yesterday. Let me see if I can pull this one up. It was funny. It made me laugh because it's probably exactly what happened. Right, let me pull this up. Big up alternative MUFC. So of course this was the announcement here. And then that's pretty much what I did. It's pretty much what a lot of you did. But yeah, penny for Harry Maguire's thoughts at seeing Johnny Evans being brought back in on a short-term deal. But remember that Johnny, look, if you look at the squad here, there are no first-team players. No Casemiro there. There's no Rashford there. There's no anyone there. None of the first-team squad are there. So Maguire isn't part of it. But still, I have to admit, that was a good tweet. Right, it was a good tweet. I'll give him that. 10 out of 10 for that one. But Johnny Evans is back. Maybe he'll start, right? What did I say here? Oh, yeah. I saw this quote from Ten Hag, so I thought I'd pull this one up. We saw it with Garnacho last season. I always hope for a minimum one player who can make minutes in the squad or even compete for a starting 11 position. And what he means, of course, is to do with the academy. Now, I personally think that Kobe Mainoo is the standout candidate. I thought that for a while. I thought that going into the preseason. I think that after that first game against Leeds. And I imagine I'm going to think that after this game here against Lyon. Maybe slightly tougher opposition. We'll find out. I hope that he starts. This was my predicted starting 11. Right, let's go full screen. So you can see there were 2 changes that I made to the team that faced Leeds. I brought Kovar in to start in goal over Heaton, who's not even there. So I think that's pretty spot on. And I put Emeran up front. I think it was Sancho in a false 9 last time, forcing out on the left-hand side. I think that's what it was. What changes do you expect to see? Now, Fred is back in the squad, and so is Van der Beek. And maybe this will be a time where we can see Donny Van der Beek. All right. Fernandez, he's not going to be happy, but I'm sure you've seen Tyrell Malacia has picked up an injury. So Malacia won't be going on the preseason tour, which for Fernandez is fantastic news for him. It means that he's now second choice for the preseason tour behind Luke Shaw. So they'll be dovetailing with each other, and you won't see any Malacia. Fernandez really is one to watch. He's got a big physique. I'm not saying that's a good thing, but he's a good modern day fullback. He can overlap very well. He can cross very well. He can find the cutbacks very well. He's a good player. I think if you're looking at 2 U team players, maybe 3 U team, there's quite a few U team players who could shine. But Mainoo is one to watch, and so is Fernandez, especially now that Malacia has been injured. Let me see what you're saying. Ahmad could be a standout player this season, says GT Life. I hope so. I really hope this is his year to break through. Mainoo, Van der Beek, and Mount to start. Yeah, you could see that, right? I don't think that's impossible. Hannibal dropping to the bench, even though he was quite impressive. But Van der Beek getting the opportunity to do what Hannibal did. And Hannibal was relentless. The pressing from the front, defending at the back. He was all over the pitch. So if Van der Beek's going to come in for Hannibal, he's got to have energy levels right up there. Anthony being back in the squad is a good thing as well. Alex, you're saying Hugo is a pure number 9, better than up front than Emeran. I agree. But Emeran probably earned himself a starting position. Maybe you'll see a bit of this. Maybe you'll see Sancho in the false 9, Emeran out on the left. And maybe you'll see Man United playing something like that instead. It's possible. All right? It's possible. Van der Beek is a false 9. No. Robert, I agree with you. I think Donny Van der Beek does have to be sold. I've thought that for a while. I think you all know that as well. William Anthony has travelled. Yep. If we go back to the squad here, see Anthony's name down there. Fred, of course, was in the travelling squad last time, but then I think he picked up an injury. Well, I think it was like a precaution. So he wasn't in the actual matchday squad. Van der Beek didn't travel, but he did now. And Anthony, of course, didn't travel either. So there's a couple of players back in. What's your prediction for the game? Fire it in the comments. And let me have a quick look at the poll here. Overall, how much do you think, if we do sign Hojlund, that we'd sign him for? 48% of you think 55 to 60 million pounds. I'm hoping it'll be 50 to 55, but it's minor if you think about that. I suppose if it's 55 with difficult add-ons, it's very similar to the Mason Mount deal, right? Very similar to the Mason Mount deal. Now, what you're saying down here in the comments. Did Martial pick up a knock on holiday, or is it like Martial got injured against Fulham on the last day of last season? Martial's just, I'm done, mate. I was done. I was done with Martial last season, man. Samid saying, why can't I access the poll? I apologize, man. It's only on YouTube that the polls exist. If I was to run a poll on Facebook, I'd have to also open up Facebook and build and run 2 polls at the same time. And as much as I love multitasking, I'm not sure that I'm able to do that, as well as looking at 40 tabs, as well as reading your comments out. As good as I am, I think that might be my limit. Alex, you think 2-1 to United? What the members saying? So look, Carl, you think 3-0. Leland Mendes, you think 1-1. We've got Teresa, you think 3-1. Salim, you think 3-1. Johnny will score. When Johnny goes marching. I know it's a different Johnny, but that's one of my favourite United tunes. One for O'Shea. And you're really upset with how much United are going to have to pay for Hojlund. Be upset with the market, man. Be upset with football. Be upset with Abramovich. Be upset with the way that football has gone. That's just what's happened. And that's just the way it is, unfortunately. I wish it wasn't. 4-0. Let's have a look on Facebook. Kisma, you're saying 4-0. Gavin, you're saying 2-1. Asen, you're saying 1-0. What did I go for? I think I went for 3-1. Might be wrong. Helen, you joined there as a member. Yeah. Let me know where you're watching from, Helen. I think I went for 3-1, but let's find out. All right. I'm looking forward to seeing. I personally think that Hannibal will keep his position. I think he deserves it. And as I said, I personally think we'll see that. That was my predicted 11. I'm looking forward to seeing Fernandez again, Mainu again, Mount again, Hannibal. I'm looking forward to seeing that midfield. It worked quite well. I want to see it again. I'm looking forward to watching United. I didn't think I'll give a toss about preseason. But I think the fact that I'm sort of enjoying preseason is a bit of a testament to the excitement that's being built around the club again. For the first time in a long time, you can look at everything that's going on and you go, I can see some joined up thinking. Obviously, the takeover is the cloud that hangs over, and until that goes away, then the joined up thinking can only go so far. But yeah, with this man, that's me. Wrong man. Completely wrong man. Be annoying if he turned up and played in goal. This man, and Mason Mount as well. That would be 3 big first team 11 improving signings. Humble, you're saying, what time is the game starting? The game starts in 3 hours and 15 minutes, if I am correct. Now, a last conversation point before I answer your questions. If you can just drop a like on the video at this point. That ball's looking really nice now, really neat-ish. I've got a bit of OCD. Everyone's got a bit of OCD, don't they? Nick, you're saying, I'm a member. Who gave it to me? Man, I don't know who isn't a member in here anymore. Absolute legends. Alex, you're asking whether I'm doing a match reaction. Of course I'm doing a match reaction, man. That match reaction will be going out as soon as I possibly can after the full-time whistle. I'll also do my 5 things we learned in a short form video. That'll go out on TikTok and stuff like that. Oh, man, look at that. How cool is that? Helen's just joined as a member. And then the first thing that Helen's done is gifted 5 memberships. Now, that is a testament to a community. That's awesome. Now, the last thing I wanted to talk about was this, right? So I'm sure you would have seen it, or if you haven't seen it, you will see it soon. David Ornstein just released a massive interview with Wayne Rooney. I haven't been able to read through the whole thing myself, but I wanted to see what he was saying there about the Glazers. because I knew that was going to be a quote that sort of people jumped on. This is the full quote here from Wayne Rooney on the Glazers. And I'll be honest, it's not going to make everyone happy, / anyone. He said this: Rooney wants to see progress in areas such as youth facilities and a winning mindset for every game and competition. Over the last 10 years, they come away from that a bit. And the alterations, in his opinion, should extend to the Glazers, bringing their ownership to a close. This is what Rooney said. They have been very successful, but it has probably got to a place where the fans really want to change. They want to go maybe in a different direction. It needs that excitement back, not just for the first team, but to develop the academy and behind the scenes. I'm sure they will get all the credit they deserve for the job they have done, but also they're going to get the negativity from fans who never seem to acknowledge what they've done for the club. I'm sure it will be split, but I think a change is needed. And yeah, it's now going to be a comment really that I think anyone can agree with. The one thing, I think I've just missed a couple of super chats there. Let me quickly read these out. Jordan, you're going for 6-0. Very nice. Very nice indeed. A free immortal, you join as a member there as well. Let me know where you're watching from, dude. I'll try and give you a shout out. But Daisy, you're asking whether Wayne's on the payroll. I think Rooney's kind of like Fergie, right? Fergie never really spoke down about the Glazers because he found what he felt was the perfect owner. Somebody who didn't stick their nose in, didn't ask any questions, didn't do anything, as long as just let him do what he was doing. And that was the most important thing for him. Of course, remember the Glazers, let's not talk about the Rock of Gibraltar, we're getting to a whole different conversation. Rooney saw United win everything under the Glazers' ownership. He was part of that squad that won multiple Premier Leagues, won the Champions League. So as far as he's concerned, all that was possible under the Glazers' ownership. So how could they be different? How could they be bad owners? I think that's probably where his mindset is. But I'm trying to think of, they're going to get negativity from fans who never seem to acknowledge what they've done for the club. And it's that's just a weird statement. Josh, I think there's a couple of people down there saying, look, he's not going to burn the bridges just in case Wayne Rooney gets a knock on the door and the Glazers are still there. I think that's probably a fair comment to make. I'm hoping that Ornstein sort of kind of dug into those questions a bit more. Answers, sorry, a bit more with further questions, because it's a bit weird. I think maybe some of you are right. Rooney's just sitting on the political fence. Don't know. It's a weird comment. It is a weird comment. But look, last couple of minutes in the show. Actually, I'm going to give a reason. Eric, you're saying my man Rooney is drunk. Rooney has a better perspective than most of us. When he speaks, we should listen a little. I don't think that Rooney can tell us the good things that the Glazers have done. I don't think Rooney could honestly sit there and tell us what we should be acknowledging that the Glazers have done. All right, it's just not possible. It's just not possible. But anyway, I thought it was a weird comment. I'm going to read the full interview after this. Maybe I'll do a video on it, but maybe not before the game today. But look, that was an absolute scorcher of a show, if I do say so myself. We spoke through Onana being in Manchester. He's going to go and have his medical today, and hopefully we get the announcement. Then we moved on to Rasmus Hojlund. I need to stop doing that. Man United have agreed personal terms. Let's see if that bid goes in. I'm looking at the poll here. To end the poll today, what are we at? We are at 2,200 votes, and 48% of you think that if we do sign him, it'll be between 55 and 60 mil. I'm hoping it's a little bit less than that, but let's find out how good United's negotiations are. Today, we might see the thing that we've always wanted to see, and that's Johnny Evans back in the United shirt. Somebody put a tenner on Johnny Evans to score a goal. It's got to be worth it. Man, the odds on that would be insane. Johnny Evans banging one in from a corner. Yes, please. But the game is later on. That's my predicted 11. Only 2 changes, Kovar and Emeran, and my prediction was 3-1. I'll be here after the game with my match reaction. You'll be here as well. Dropping a like on the video. Big up to everyone. What a show. I enjoyed it. and I'll see you in a few hours.